Alright guys, this is Chris with championsdeck.com. I know I haven't been here for a minute. Last video was for the Atlanta Regionals. Came back, had to work and all that good stuff. I was able to finally play in one of the League Cups over here. It was actually the weekend, if I'm not mistaken, of the Milwaukee Regionals. So I was between playing the League Cup and watching the Regionals. But I played in a League Cup over here locally in Florida, and I made top four. Your boy made top four over here, and for the League Cup, actually it came in third. Top four was a three Dragapult EXs, one Gardevoir, and then the deck that I'm going to talk about today, which is the one that I played, good old Terabox. Now, just wanted to say that the League Cup that was played over here, for some reason, it was like a best 2 out of 3 in Swiss rounds, so it took forever. Didn't enjoy that, but everything else was cool. And I just wanted to get you the deck profile of the Terabox that I played. So to start off with the deck profile, I was playing the hero that we didn't think we needed, but it's here, the Wellspring Ogerpon EX. So this guy for 1 colorless energy does 20 with a good old attack stop, traps your opponent, and then the second attack is the Torrential Pump for 100 to the active, and then 120 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon of your choosing. This helped a lot with the Dragapult matches, and with those matches that have baby Pokemon like Hoots, Noctowls, and all that good stuff, I was able to capitalize on the bench snipes in order to win a couple of games. Clearly, at the end of the day, Dragapult is like one of the best decks in the format. It is a still hard matchup, but it was able to give me a couple of wins thanks to the Ogerpon EX. Just put it on the side over here. Moving on, for said Dragapult matchup, I played the Clefairy EX. Self-explanatory, gives the Psychic Pokemon or Dragon Pokemon weakness to Psychic. I was able to kill or knock out a couple of Dragapult EXs with a full Rondo attack, giving me the win. Obviously, the deck also runs the Teal Mask Ogerpon just to main draw engine. Also very good. A lot of people forget Charizard is still around here and there, and also a couple of dark Pokemon. So obviously, majority of the Pokemon that are weak to grass. So a lot of people forget that Ogerpon does attack. Matter of fact, the Myrat Leaf Shower does 30 plus 30 more for each energy that you and your opponent's Pokemon have. So a lot of people forget that as well. Obviously, Pikachu EX, one of the stars of the deck. Self-explanatory, Topaz Ball 300 to knock out the majority of the EXs that you see around. You have to discard the 3 energies, but obviously we can fix that later on. We'll show you with the A-Spec, which is the Sparking Crystal and all that good stuff. Resolute Heart came as a MVP during this League Cup. A lot of times played against Goldengo and other matches, they were able to one-hit KO me, capitalizing on the Resolute Heart ability, leaving me with 10 HP, and obviously getting the return kill. Running Fecundipity, obviously for one of the main draw engines. Whenever you get a Pokemon knocked out, you can always flip the script. And also, believe it or not, a lot of people forget that Fecundipity has a Cruel Arrow attack. You can snipe a Pokemon in the bench. So don't sleep on that, guys, because obviously this deck, as you'll see, run energy switches, Christmas, and all that stuff. You can definitely snipe with Fecundipity EX. Moving on, the Cornerstone Ogerpon EX, obviously for the Goldengo matchups. The Demolish attack, 140 for 1 fighting and 2 colorless. Obviously, you don't do the weakness because part of the effect of the attack is done. It doesn't apply weakness or resistance, but you can get through, which actually happened to me in one of the Swiss rounds. Somebody was playing the Walls deck. Obviously, they set up with the double melodic MVP right here. Ogerpon, Cornerstone Ogerpon EX came in clutch. They were actually wondering if the demolish attack went through, the melodic ability. They call a judge. Judge said like yes, it's kind of like shred. Any effect doesn't affect it, and then I was able to win that game 2-0. Mind you, at the beginning of the video, guys, I said every Swiss round of this League Cup was best 2 out of 3, 50 minutes. So that was like 5 rounds of best 2 out of 3, 50 minutes. So imagine that. Moving on, Terabox, obviously good attacker, unified beatdown, 30 per each of your bench Pokemon. Guys, believe it or not, a lot of people sleep on this. Terabox, even though the majority of the times we do the attack of unified beatdown, guess what? It has a secondary attack, which in this deck, as you'll see, I play, and the majority of the guys play each energy, though, grass, water, lightning, and his attack, his secondary attack, is called Crown Opal for 180. A lot of people don't do it, but as you go through the game, as you see your opponent's discard pile, seeing that maybe he has already like 2 boss's orders or a couple of counter catchers in there. Obviously, you don't know what your opponent's playing. I saw some people playing 3 counter catchers and 3 bosses and all that good stuff. But late game, guys, believe it or not, this attack is 180, and it says during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damages done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic non-colorless Pokemon. So let me give you an example. If you're playing against Raging Bolt, if they're out of counter catchers and all that good stuff, if they're out of boss orders, you can actually do the 180 attack, and he will stay there and prevent damage and all that good stuff, and then you can attack again. Believe it or not, guys, thinking outside of the box, I actually did his attack in one of the games. I don't remember in which game was it. All I remember, I played against the Miraidon, Pikachu, Iron Hands deck, and believe it or not, late game, did 180. He wasn't able to respond. Did 180 again, and then that was game. Moving on, let me just put this one over here out of the way. Obviously, with all these big Pokemons, they have big big retreats and all that good stuff. I play a Latias EX, obviously because of the ability. Skyliner. You are able to give the basic Pokemon free retreat, especially this guy, the Ursaluna, Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. Heavy hitter, heavy retreater as well. I mean, obviously he's a late or a late gamer, finisher, if you would say, in the deck. Depending on how many prices your opponent takes, Billy says that for each price your opponent takes, you pay 1 less for the attack. Obviously, sometimes I have even attack for free when I'm in that final stages of my opponent has 1 prize. I have 2 prizes left, to run away with the game. Also, same thing, guys. Even though you have all these different Pokemons over here, they can all attack as well. Mind you, sometimes, believe it or not, and this has been thinking outside of the box as well, I have been able to set up an attack with Latias for 200, right? And then obviously the attack says during your next turn, this Pokemon can attack. Sure, I only wanted it for that turn, especially against Dragapults with a Clefairy bench. Is not the most ideal attack that you want to do, but sometimes, the way it goes, how it goes, I have been able to attack for 200, obviously, to a Dragon Ball EX or a Raging Bolt times 2, 400, scooping the game, or, scooping that KO for the last 2 prices, or 2 prices in general. Same thing with the next Pokemon, Mew EX, one of the most versatile Pokemon in the deck. A lot of the people use it, obviously. Well, first of all, free retreater. You do have the restart ability. You draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. So mainly, you use the Pokemon to drop your hand. If you're able to drop your hand, do a restart. Majority of the times, believe it or not, I used it when I got Iono to like 2, 3, or whatever. I was able to get a Fessendipity and Mew, and I was able to do the restart first, obviously, then the flip the script, and then suddenly when your opponent ionos you to 2 or 1 or whatever, you suddenly have like 6 far hand or whatever, and then you're able to make the plays. Same thing with his attack. Genome hacking for 3 colorless energy, you're able to copy your opponent's attack. Majority of the time, with depending on how gameplay goes, majority of the time what's going to happen is if you cannot attack with the full moon rondo with the Clefairy, you can always copy an attack with Mew from your opponent's active Pokemon. Obviously, with Clefairy on bench, if it's a dragon, again, and those games that I was able to play with Dragapult, there was one of the games, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like top 4. I can't remember which one, or maybe it was Swiss. I had Clefairy EX in the bench out of energy for some reason, and Mew, I was able to do a Crispin on the Mew, capitalize with the Fairy Zone ability to a Dragapult, copy Dragapult's attack, do 200, obviously times 2, 400, getting a knockout, and spreading 60 over in the bench, which later on, guys, believe it or not, was as the game was developing and all that stuff, that same 60 that I spread on the bench later on, you can attack with Festivity, maybe do 100 more and stuff like that. So it really depends on how you play the deck and how the game goes, that you're able to to capitalize on these attacks, especially on Mews. So for the EXs, guys, that is going to be it. I don't know if you're able to see them over here, but I'll leave them beside. When it comes to the baby Pokemon, obviously the deck runs 2 Fan Rotom. He's the starter or the ideal starter of this deck. I would say, yes, this deck has a lot of attackers and a lot of EXs, but in my personal opinion, without the start of Fan Rotom, this deck doesn't shine. So he's like one of the main stars. One of the main stars of this deck, because with the Fan Call ability, you're able to get colorless Pokemon from your deck to your hand. Mainly his other companions like Ditto. Obviously, I played one Ditto just because of the fact that you have that transformative start ability. Obviously, once you're in your turn, once you're in your first turn, actually, because you have to start with it. If you have the Ditto in play, you're able to discard it, and he's your gateway to any of the other EX's Pokemon that you see over here, depending on how you start and all that good stuff. So it can transform on that Pokemon, and then you're able to go to work. Same thing. This deck plays 4 Hoot Hoot. Obviously, this is our Pidgeot, if you would say, the main searcher of the deck, and also with the 4 Noctowls. Like I said, guys, you always want to start with the Fan Rotom, just because obviously you want to do it in the first turn, that Fan Call ability, get your Hoot Hoots, get your Noctowls. That way later on, you're able to search for nest balls or other items that are going to be your gateway to the toolbox Pokemons. In this case, the EX's Pokemon over here. Believe it or not, guys, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the games, I started a Lonely Ditto. Transformative start helped me out in order to transform into Fan Rotom and then activate the Fan Call ability to call my Hoot Hoots and Noctowls and all that good stuff. That's why Ditto, it's a very good card in this deck. Is it necessary? Is it a necessity in the deck? I don't think so, but it's a plus. I mean, the more the merrier. The more this Pokemon gives you consistency in this deck to help and move on. For the Pokemon, that was gonna be it. Just let me put these. Let me put this over here. I don't know if you guys are able to see them, but I'm gonna put them on top. All right. So hopefully you guys are able to see that. Let's see if I can put this in the corner over here. So energies, well, I went with the 4 grass energies. Obviously, for the teal mask Ogerpon, you do the teal dance, you attach them draws 1 card. Pikachu has grass in his attack. Actually, like I said before, guys, a lot of people sleep on this attack. The Terapagos has grass on his attack. That way, you're able to stall late in game if you want. So for grass, you have the 2 psychic. Obviously, psychic mainly for the Clefairy. Clefairy, it does require 1 psychic and 1 colorless in order, for you to do the attack. But also on the Latias EX, Latias requires 2 psychic energies. Sometimes you're able to do the E switch or energy switch into Latias and all that good stuff, and do some plays as well. I run the metal energy again. Pikachu requires the metal energy. I run the water energy. I run the lightning and the fighting energy. Some of the decks don't run the fighting energy because they put in the A spec under Cornerstone. I mainly like it. At the end of the day, like I said, sometimes which is usually what happens in tournaments, and we can all relate over here. Whenever you do that deck search, um, your A spec in my case, which is Sparking Crystal, is priced, and you're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do now? That's why at least whenever you need to use the Cornerstone, you do have the fighting energy. It requires the fighting energy in 2 colorless. That way you're able to attack, and it helped me out. Like I said, worst match, not worst match, what it could be, but when I played against walls, you know it, guys. Search the deck. Sparking Crystal's price, but the fighting energy was available. I was able to crisp in for it, maybe wait a turn, and then next turn go to work with the Cornerstone. So for the energies, that's that. I'm just going to put them over here. So when it comes to the supporters, main engine, for Crispin, nothing special about the card, but is the main energy accelerator of your deck. Obviously, one turn you search for 2 different type of energies. You attach one and put another one in your hand. So he's going to be the main energy accelerator. That's why we play 4. Also, I have over here 2 boss orders. Obviously, boss orders. It's a staple in every deck. I don't think there's a deck that doesn't even play a boss order. But staple, you switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to active, so you can knock it out with one of the Pokemons. I play 1 Iono just for that hand disruption, and also for me to draw more cards. Sometimes you don't want to, even though I play 1, which is over here, 1 Professor Research. Sometimes I don't want to research my hand because I do have very reasonable or very, very good resources in my hand. I don't want to discard them. Sometimes I'm forced to do the Iono to play a little bit more conservative, and it has worked so far. But if not, I play the 1 Research. I play the 1 Brock Scouting. To be honest, guys, I don't know how I feel about this card. I think I used it once throughout the whole tournament, and it wasn't even for the first effect for getting 2 basic Pokemon. It was mainly to get like one of those weird cases where I had only 1 Brock Scouting in hand. I was under Ichipon and all that stuff. It did came through getting me one of the knockdowns, so I get knocked out and get go to work and all that stuff. But to be honest, guys, I don't know. I think I'm gonna change it. Don't know to what. Maybe a second Iono. I'm gonna search, search the cards and all that good stuff, Pokemon database, to see what could be a little bit better to put in, for Brock Scouting. Is not horrible, it's not bad, but it's not like the greatest thing in the world. Also, but that's my supporter lineup, guys. And then for the rest of the deck, which is items, obviously, I play 4 Nest Balls, just consistency. Although I'm not gonna lie, guys, even though I play the 4 Nest Balls, sometimes, which because obviously the Nest Ball gives you the majority of the Pokemon, the majority of the X's and all that stuff. Sometimes I wish I've had I wish one of the Nest Balls was a Buddy Puffin, so I can get like either 2 Owls or something like that. But so far it has worked great. So 4 Nest Balls over there. I do have 3 Ultra Balls. Again, 3 Ultra Balls. Good card, gets you anything in the deck or any Pokemon in the deck. just for consistency. Obviously, since we're playing Terra Pokemon, we do abuse the jamming. Um, Not jamming. Actually, I said over here. So I actually, now that I say that, I actually played 2 Area 0s and 1 jamming tower. Reason being is obviously Area 0, thanks that we play Terra Pokemon, we're able to have a 8 bench Pokemon in the deck. However, I cannot stress this enough, guys. The jamming tower has came in so clutch in certain matches. Let me give you an example. Like, obviously, Guardy, whenever you drop a jamming tower, and just by dropping jamming tower, you get free kills before you're able to do the attack. That's insane. Sometimes people don't expect it. It has helped me in the Raging Bull matchups. I mean, obviously, a Raging Bull with EA with Bravery Charm is not fun. This has been able to help me out with that, and actually, believe it or not, it helped me out a lot against the Miraidon Iron Hands deck. They use tools as well. Obviously, you put this in, you negate those tools, and I was able to get knockouts with it. So that's that. So 2 Area 0s. I'm just put it over here. Let me see if I can organize this a little bit better, guys. 2 Area 0s and 1 jamming tower. Just trying to accommodate this for you guys. Hopefully, you guys are able to see it. If not, leave me give me some feedback in the comment, guys. I'm just playing around with the lighting and all that stuff, trying to get better lighting, better camera, and all that stuff. But we'll keep it going. 3 energy switches. Obviously, I think you can get away with 2. I always get paranoid with the energy switches and the pricing and all that stuff. I think 3 could be safe. You can drop a energy switch for something else if you like, guys. But 3 has helped me a lot. That third energy switch has came in clutch in a couple of games, and it really helped me out this weekend in the League Cup. So those are, let's see if I can put it over here. 3 energy switches. A spec of the deck, Sparking Crystal. So that is, the one-hit wonder of the deck. Sparking Crystal lets you or lets your Terra Pokemon attack with 1 less energy of any kind. So I cannot stress this enough. How many times I've done the Sparking Crystal in the Ogerpons and the Pikachu, so they can attack for 2 energies instead of 3. Obviously, one of the main stars of the deck is the Sparking Crystal. And then for the other type of trainers that I've played, guys, I played a Earthen Vessel just to get some of the energies that you see over here, so I can attack with the Pokemon. I play 1 counter catcher. It has helped a lot because sometimes I have been behind in prices. And you know what? Thinking about it, I think the Brock Scouting can be maybe replaced for a second counter catcher. Sometimes I feel that one is like, depending on how the gameplay goes, that sometimes you have to like play a research for the 1 counter catcher that you had in your hand, and you have to do that play to sacrifice. So I think maybe the Brock Scouting for like a second counter catcher could be good. Other items that I play, guys. So that was counter catcher. Night Stretcher, obviously to get anything from the discard pile back to your hand. Again, I think Brock Scouting could be a second Night Stretcher. It could be a second counter catcher. It really depends up to you guys. You know what? I think for the next League Cup, that if I play with this deck, I think I'm gonna put in a second Night Stretcher just to see. Even though I play a Super Rod, Super Rod gets Pokemon or energies from discard pile to the deck, but then you have to like search it and all that good stuff. That's what I think I'm gonna drop the Brock Scouting for a second Night Stretcher just to help me out. And last but not least, the Rescue Board. Rescue Board came in clutch, especially against Dragapult EX. That top 4 match was kind of brutal. The guy played like 3 counter catchers, like 3 boss orders. So there was a lot of dusting. Majority of the times they will dust your knockout to obviously to stall and do Ichi-Pollen. That way they're able to set up. Rescue Board came in clutch a couple of times. Believe it or not, guys, I wish this deck, and which again, I think since I didn't play a lot the Brock Scouting, that could be replaced with a bunch of stuff. I cannot stress enough how many times I needed like switch instead of the rescue board and stuff like that um, to make make this work. But that's it, guys. This is the deck profile for the top four uh, deck that got me, top four deck Terabox that got me into the top four of the League Cup. Hope you guys like it. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. We're growing little by little. You know, I'll obviously with the amount of time that I have, I'm trying to see if I can able, to get you more content, all that good stuff. But for now, this is the deck that got me top four of the League Cup. Um, and hopefully, you guys like this content. Let me know. Drop a like, subscribe, comment down below. What do you guys want to see more of, and all that good stuff. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit more time to do more videos. And that'll be it, guys. Take care and be safe. Enjoy.